Good morning to all the faculty members. First of all, I want to thank Pratibha College, Deepak Shah sir, Kankaria sir for providing such good opportunity to the faculty members so we can share our knowledge or something interesting related to our subject. Behavioral economics is something which is not very popular in India. So I want to make a presentation on behavioral economics. Now this is not a topic, this is a subject. Okay, people must have heard about macroeconomics, microeconomics, industrial economics, but what about behavioral economics? It's because it's more popular in developed countries and it's more related to liberal studies. If we say liberal studies, in India there are only two institutions to provide this. And I feel lucky that I was part of that. I was in Symbiosis where I was doing my honors degree and I got introduced to this beautiful subject called behavioral economics. And another one is called JNU where they provide information related to behavioral economics. Okay. So when I start speaking about behavioral economics, it's a combination of two subjects. It's about psychology and economics. Okay. So why behavioral economics emerged and how it started? Now when I say traditional economics, it is assumed that in traditional economics that people are rational in manner. Lot of models in economics says that people are behaving in a very rational manner. Now I don't think I have to explain what exactly rationality is. It's basically you think in a logical manner. Your emotions are not related to it. Okay. Now when I say we are making policies or we are introducing some new schemes. Now who are introducing them? We humans. Now if we humans are introducing them, of course the psychology will be behind that. That will be affecting it. Sometimes people behave in a very biased manner. I can give you one example also. For example, assume that there is a CM from a particular state and after a certain time he becomes the Prime Minister of that country. It has nothing to do with reality. I am just putting stories. Okay. Now for example, now he is a PM of a country. We have to think about the whole country, not just one. So whatever schemes he is introducing in India or in that country, they should be beneficial for all the states, not one particular state. If he is doing that, he is becoming biased. He is not behaving in a rational manner. And this happens a lot of the time. Okay? And this is because traditional economics is criticized for this person. That people behave in a rational manner. But that's not true. I'll give you one more example and that will be more related to you people as humans. For example, you start working. But the knowledge about investment, how many people have? There are people who know about investment. How many people do mutual funds? People, sir, do that. Anyone else who do mutual funds? Anyone? So it's because you know that when you start earning, you have to have some kind of investment. You have to behave in a rational manner. But unfortunately, people are not behaving in that manner. And the reason is that the literacy related to financial inclusion, investment. Okay. Now, what I will be doing in this PPT, I will be including some really interesting concepts. I will be also talking a little bit about Maharashtra elections and how this concept is related to Maharashtra elections. Now the first concept, bounded rationality. This concept is in there in psychology and this concept is also there in economics. Now there are three elements to it. One is cognitive limitations. Now when I say cognitive limitations, it's related to your mental processing. Okay. Second is information imperfection or the lack of information that you have. And the third one is time constraint. Now when all these three things come together, that leads to bounded rationality and this leads to suboptimal decisions. So I am saying that bounded rationality is related to something called as decision making. I'll give you an example. For example, assume that one person is taking a loan. Now if that person is taking a loan and he is not aware of where to go, from where to take loans. So what will be then? Like there are six institutes who are providing the loans. Now if he is not doing the cognitive mental processing, that's a category of cognitive limitations. Which one is good for him? imperfection. So when I say information imperfection, it's basically related to the knowledge about the laws. Who is providing at a lower rate? Nowadays we have policy bazaar where we can do the comparison, but there was a time we didn't have such information. There is one more thing, information imperfection. And the second one is time constraint. इतना टाइम नहीं है, तुरंत कोई कोई लोन ले लेते हैं। अगर ये तीनों चीजें जब साथ में आ जाती हैं, that leads to bounded rationality. मतलब आपकी जो rational behaving है, उसको एक बाउंड मिल चुका है, इसकी आप बाहर नहीं सोच रहे हो, और इसके कारण आप जो डिसीजन ले रहे हो, that is a suboptimal decision, which is not good for you. Okay, so that is the example of bounded rationality. This one topic is something I will be talking again and again, because before I started my presentation I talked about rational behavior. People don't behave in a rational manner, and traditional economics says that no, people, all the economic agents, they behave in a rational manner. Okay, but in reality that's not we face, and that's why I have shown this irrational behavior example. Okay, now how it is possible? For example, I take you example of obese people, okay, or smokers. Now they know that they are facing one problem, okay, and they have to do something about it. But because of the temptations and other things, they are not able to achieve their growth or their goals. So what they are doing, they are becoming a procrastinator. Now, what exactly is a procrastinator? For example, there is a obese person. He has gained a lot of weight. Now he knows that I have to lose weight, I have to start a diet or something that can help me to burn calories. But now there are two things. First is he enjoys results. That is his short-term goal. That's his temptation. But his long-term goal is to lose weight. Because of these temptations, he is not able to achieve his goal. And he is trying बाद में करते हैं, अगले महीने करेंगे, अगले साल कर लेंगे. That is his irrational behavior, and he is becoming a procrastinator. And this what exactly happens in finance, this happens in marketing, policy making, and this is happening in Maharashtra elections also, isn't it? Are they behaving in a rational manner? They are not. That's it. Okay. Now this is something really interesting, that is called framing effect. Okay, it is said that how I am framing an offer to a person affects his decision making. Now you can say this. These are two examples, yogurts, and how marketing people are affecting them. For example, I am saying that this product is giving you 75% fat-free yogurt. You say, this is a good thing. And this one, 25% fat, and it's with the fat in it. But both are the same thing. ये किसको समझता है? The ones who have cognitive abilities, who is good in maths, who can relate things. Correct? That's why there is a very good example. We say that पुणे से दिल्ली गया, 1 घंटे में रिटर्न आया 60 minutes में. They are not able to relate कि 60 minutes, 1 hour is the same thing. And this is what they are doing in marketing too. These two things are same, but because of the cognitive limitations, आप मार्केट में जाते ही हो टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट, तुरंत खरीदना है, इसलिए बड़े अक्षरों में लिखा रहता है 75%. अरे अच्छा नहीं, this is healthy for you. इतना टाइम होता है किसी के पास? Am I true or not? And this is how people are affecting your decision making. Now you can see that people don't behave in a rational manner. Their psychology, their emotions are affected by it. और इसी का benefit the marketing people take. Okay. Now one more interesting concept that is related to behavioral economics. This is called prospect theory. Now when I say prospect, what exactly is prospect? It is the possibility. Okay. Now this concept was introduced by Daniel Kahneman. Now Daniel Kahneman was a psychologist who won Nobel Prize in 2002 in economics. A psychological person who won Nobel Prize in Economics. But how he has done that? It's not just Daniel Kahneman, it's also Amos Tversky. They too came with this concept called prospect theory. Now you can see the diagram. Here we have gains, here we have losses. Okay? This part is more concave in nature, this is more convex in nature. This basically tries to say that the gain that we get from a positive thing is less. But if we lose something, the pain that we get is more. This is what they are trying to show. अगर मुझे 1000 रुपए if I am gaining, हाँ मिल गया मुझे 1000 रुपए, I am spending it. But unfortunately, I earned 1000 rupees, and in 2 days, without spending also, I lost it. Pain ज़्यादा होता है इसका. People just hate losing, and this is what they showed through prospect theory. And this concept is also used in share market. And that's how they came up with this concept of people who take more risk lovers, risk seekers. The people who avoid losses, that is called risk aversion. And there are people who are risk neutral. I'll give you an example to it. For example, I have a coin. Okay? Now there are only two possibilities to it. One will be a head and another will be a tail. Now if I say that if it is a tail, I will give you $100. And if it is a head, I will give you have to give me $50. What will you do? You want me to repeat it again? For example, we'll be tossing a coin. Okay? There are two possibilities to it. There is head and there is a tail to it. Now if it's a head, I will be giving you $100. Okay? Now if it's a tail, you have to give back $50. Which one will you choose? What is a good thing for you? Which is a good deal for you? क्या चाहते हो? क्या आना चाहिए? $100? Anything else? You want to say anything? Sir?
The second one, tail.
Okay.
Because I have to give back only when you give me.
No, sir. It's a condition like if it's a head, I'll be giving $100, and if it's a tail, you have to give back $50. So there is one possibility.
So I'll go with tail because it's a risk where if I win, right, I have to, like if you get tail, so I have to give. But there is a probability that the reverse can occur and it's 1 by half probability. So I'll go with that probability that I have equal chance to win 100 rather than giving you 50.
Okay. And ma'am, why you said 100? See, it's basically why it happens because I mentioned about this. People just hate losing. They don't want to lose. And sir took time. He did this cognitive. He thought about it. And usually people don't think so much about it. That's why it happens. Good one, sir.
Thank you.
And this is what it is, loss aversion. Like I said, that people don't take risk. In that manner, people also don't want to have losses. If there is a gain, even if it's a less gain, but there is a short possibility that I'll be getting, people take it. But if there is lot of gain, but the probability is less, people try to avoid that part. You want me to give an example? Assume this is an envelope, okay, and this is the another envelope. This has 100 rupees in it, and another one has nothing. Okay. Now I say that there is a 50% possible. No, actually, I don't know where exactly it is. You have to choose one. Okay. One has $100 rupees, and another has nothing in it. So it's up to you what to do. Whether you want to take an envelope or short you want to take 50 rupees. Or maybe 49. Which one will you do? A short one or the one which is more risky one? But if it's more risky, it has returns. Which one will you do? Short, right? It's because people avoid risk is, it's called risk aversion. And it's not that, see, there are how many people now here? I think 6 to 7 people. People will say they will take a short shot, but there are people who are risk lovers. They want to bet on it. चलो देखते हैं, मिलेगा तो सही. So they are called risk lovers. And there are sometimes risk neutral people also. उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, जो है वो ले. They don't think so much. हाँ ठीक है ये दो, चलेगा. And this again was concept used in mutual funds, in finance, and in share market. This diagram are you able to relate? Making sense? Am I saying something wrong? Is there anything you want to ask so that I can proceed further? Because I will also tell you something really interesting about Maharashtra elections. So before I start talking about something more interesting that is called nudge, I will talk about little bit about Maharashtra elections. Because I said that people don't behave in a rational manner. There is a very good example, and this is Maharashtra elections. Now, you have to help me with the numbers. Elections happened on 21st. Result came on 24th. We had, I think, because of Diwali, they postponed it. But till that, खट्टर साहब उन्होंने बना दिया मतलब हरियाणा में अपना पार्टी बना. What they were saying, BJP and Shiv Sena, there was a proposal कि this thing should happen. Okay. Now, right now the scenario for BJP is different because they don't have majority with them. But instead of taking the offer of Shiv Sena and accepting their offer, they said कि no, we are not going to accept this. Because see, अगर उन्होंने offer accept कर दिया होता, that is a good thing. They must have formed the government. Because what rationality says in economics that something is better than nothing. Correct? इस बार शिवसेना को आप चांस दे देते, but they said नहीं, मुख्यमंत्री हमारा है, फडणवीस ही है. But they said no, we don't want it. So this is a case of ultimatum game. They didn't behave in a rational manner. That's why they were not able to form the government, and because of this, they were behaving in an irrational manner. So when you are doing decision making, it's not just about rationality that you think, it's also about other things. What is that? Justice. Am I getting more? No. So why would I do that? Because rationality says something is better than nothing. But मुझे क्या मिल रहा है? बीजेपी का मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बन रहा है, बड़े पोस्ट हमको मिल नहीं रहे. But at least you are in the government. That's why people behave in a irrational manner. Revenges, injustice, superiority complex, that makes them behave in a irrational manner. And this is a very good example. Yeah. Now this is also a very important concept which was introduced by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein. Again, the very famous behavioral economics people. Because a few decades back, behavioral economics was not at all in the picture. People were not aware what exactly behavioral economics is. It was more of the dominance of the traditional economics. Adam Smith, Keynes, everyone must be aware. John Maynard Keynes, that animal split and all. These people came into picture in 2000 when Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky have won the Nobel Prize for their prospect theory. After that, again, Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein won Nobel Prize for their concept called nudge theory. Again, this is related to rationality. See, this picture is trying to show something. What they are trying to say, that elephant is telling his baby, you are supposed to walk like this. He is nudging. What exactly nudging is? Hey, that is wrong. Do like this. And in nudging, there are two very important concepts, and that is called choice architect. And there is one more thing, choice architect is there. And another one is, I forgot the other one. It's choice architect, how our frame questions will be. And that is related to frame. Okay? Yeah. This I have talked about with my faculty members, my male faculty members in staff room also. And I'll again explain this, how this is a good example of nudge. Can you feel that this is a good example of a nudge? What basically nudges that people don't behave in a rational manner. Uनको like doing wrong, do like this. This is a good example of a nudge. Because open defecation is something which is very common in rural areas. It is still. People look, उनको वही अच्छा लगता है. But are they behaving in a rational manner? They are not. So what government of India did, they introduced a concept called Swachh Bharat. It's not just me who's saying it. I think 1 year back it was Cass Sunstein, the one who shares Nobel Prize with Richard Thaler. He came to India. He was in Delhi. He was attending a meeting, and he admitted to it that Swachh Bharat example is a very good example of a nudge. In recent scenario, it's a very good example of a nudge, and that's like a big achievement for government of India. Yeah. The last one that I want to talk about. Everyone is aware about the 2000 crisis that happened. Okay. Now people blame the experts were not able to predict it. They were not able to do the proper calculations to it. But it is not just the experts, but it is us too and experts too who are not able to predict it. Okay. Now why this global financial crisis happened? It is more related to our bounded rationality, our temptations, and social influence. First, we say that bounded rationality. Okay. Now, when I say global financial crisis of 2007, it is more related to the mortgages that were introduced in America. Before that, it was very simple things. Instruments like mortgages, loans were very simple. It were not complex. Even the one who is selling it was able to understand, and the one who is taking that loan or mortgage was able to understand. So the rationality was more. It was not bounded at all. But what the experts did, they came up with a lot of loan stacks and instruments. They became more complex. People are like, chalo le lete, because American culture is different. They don't like to like save. They spend a lot. So if they are taking loan for even buying a car or even buying a small things, for which loan is not something that is good for them, but they were influenced in such a manner, loan le lo, and they started taking loans. But they were not able to understand the complexities of how to pay them back, or the different complex instruments that were introduced by the investment banks. So what happened to them? They were not able to understand the complexity to it, and their rationality became bounded. जो बेच रहा है उसको भी पता नहीं चल रहा है वो रिकवर कैसे होगा, और जिसने लिया है उसको भी समझ नहीं रहा मैं इसको पे बैक कैसे करूँगा, बस लेना है. So that is one example, bounded rationality, because of which global financial crisis happened. Another one is called temptations, or we can relate to this to the John Maynard Keynes concept of animal spirit. खर्चा करो, पॉजिटिव रहो, आगे अच्छा ही होगा. They were expecting it, so it started making a bubble. अच्छा होने वाला है, मार्केट वापस आएगा. This is called, there is a term to it, and I copied from Shashi Tharoor. It's called Panglossian. What Panglossian is? It's basically you are too optimistic, relentlessly optimistic. कि नहीं ये होना ही. See, there is nothing wrong with making mistakes. If you are making mistakes, you should be able to realize that हाँ मैंने mistake किया है, I should not be doing it again. But if you are नहीं, सब सही हो रहा है. I am making a lot of mistakes, but नहीं सब अच्छा ही हो रहा है. That is called Panglossian, and this is what happened. They were too optimistic about it, and because of this crisis happened. And social influence. इसने लोन लिया, चलो ले लिया. इसने लिया, सब लोग ले लिया. And this is one kind of a fallacy also. It says that इसने लोन लिया, वो तो ले रहा है, मैं भी ले, सब ले रहे हैं, अच्छा ही है, ले लेते सब. That is called social influence. So we can say that don't blame just government, don't blame just experts, blame too. We have temptations, we behave in a rational manner. We have to understand that. And that's how behavioral economics has came into picture, not just in economics, but in finance and marketing.